How's it going, everyone? It is Skating Green here, and today I just want to discuss the differences about the gear and the belt drive for your Meepo Hurricane or Meepo Hurricane Ultra. I originally bought it as a Meepo Hurricane, and I guess they changed batteries since then. I will be discussing what's on their website for the Meepo Hurricane Ultra version, but my speed and range just might be slightly different, but everything else should be pretty similar. So the first thing we're going to discuss here is the speed. So on the website, the gear drive says it has a max speed of 32. That's still pretty good. I think anything that can hit 30 or above is kind of this top speed that I want on a board. And it says for the belt drive it's the same, but because you're having less resistance with the belt, if you're going downhill, you're going to end up picking up a little bit more speed with the belt drive than you are with the gear drive. As far as acceleration goes, the gear drive I think beats the belt by far. The thing just wants to take off and it's ridiculous. Also with that gear drive, it's a lot smoother than the belt because you're having more of a resistance. It's able to grab it a lot nicer with the remote. So that jerky feel that you would get with a belt, you are not going to get here with the gear drive. As far with the belt, the acceleration's still really good. The only issue with that, and it's something I had an issue with the remote, and the remote has a little bit to do with it, but the gear drive decided to resolve a lot of those issues. When you completely let go of that throttle with the belt, you're going to get a lot more of that jerkiness, where the gears kind of resolved that issue. Also, like, depending on different ways you want to throttle with the speed too. I know the belt had a little bit of a jerk to it. It is something that you can just get used to, but with the gear drive, it eliminates a lot of that, so it's not even much of a getting used to feel. You just have a nice, smoother ride. Now we're going to discuss about the turning. Both of them are pretty much the same. I mean, you can crank on both of them and have a really good turn radius. The only thing I can say that the gear drive has advantage of is the way the motor placements are set up. It's a little bit more tighter and all in like one spot, the weight distribution. So I think it adds a lot more stability to the gear drive. It just, when you're carving and stuff, I just feel like the gear drive feels a lot nicer than it does with the belt. And that could also come into effect with the jerkiness I was talking about earlier with the acceleration. Next thing is going to be the range. I could see both of them pretty much being the same, and a lot of it's depending on your riding. So we're going to discuss about the off-roading next. Gear drive pretty much beats the belt for that completely. Well, except for one thing. But with the gear drive, because of everything just feeling a lot smoother, you can go faster on the dirt, and you don't have to. It's gonna kick out if you go fast enough, but the odds of you kicking out the back end of your board is a lot less likely with the gear drive than with the belt drive. The only situation we have is the belt drive's clearance is a lot smaller than the belt drive's. I did mention it in my gear drive review, but to be a little bit more clear about it, I mean, if you're hitting anything straight on, you're going to be fine. But when you're taking something in an angle, if you have too high of a lip transitioning from like grass to concrete, it's going to end up clipping that gear drive system. Or with the belt, it just had a little bit more clearance underneath there that you weren't worrying about your belt getting clipped by a hard surface or anything from a deep lip and taking it into an angle. So that's something to watch out for. As far as maintenance goes, I think both of them are going to be pretty easy. Belts need very little attention. They're saying with the gear drive that you don't have to maintain it a whole lot, but I am going to check it pretty early this time around just because I haven't gotten a chance to look inside and see what's going on. And I know there's a lubricant in there. So when I do my maintenance video, I'll be able to just take a look, see what's going on there, and then kind of get a good idea about the maintenance. So I think if you were trying to decide which way you would want to go, I think both feel great. If you're not willing to fork over the extra $200 for the gear drive system, the belt's going to be fine. Like, it has its little quirks that you're just going to get used to, but I loved riding it as a belt drive. But if you're someone who's looking for a very smooth ride, not as quiet as the belt drive. Did forget to mention that the gear drive is quite loud, but that sound is wonderful. Me personally, I love the gear drive. If it wasn't for me receiving it, would I have gone to the gear drive? Probably not, until I realized there was an issue with the belts. But at the same time, I would have never learned to realize how smooth this gear drive system actually is. The only problem I have is I do a lot of all-terrain, so I am going to miss some of that clearance value from the belts, but not disappointed at all. I think either way you want to go, you're going to have a great ride and a good time with it. So it's pretty much just based off of your pricing, and if you're willing to deal with getting used to some of the jerkiness off of the belt drive, then you're going to be absolutely fine. I hope some of this advice was good for you for your decision if you're deciding on that, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I will see you all next week. Take care.